Hello and welcome to a special episode of 60 Minutes in Black America. I, Jasmine Pollock, am your host tonight, filling in for Michael Haney, and we have a phenomenal show talking about all things sports, from Black ownership and how we get better with Black ownership, and a little bit of free agency, NBA free agency. And towards the end, we're going to have a special segment called Free for All, where we're going to battle it out on most of the controversial topics in sports. So let's get started.
Welcome to a special edition of 60 Minutes in Black America. Regular host Michael Haney is taking the night off. Jasmine Pollock, the host of First Impressions Sports Talk, is filling in. Stay tuned for lively conversation and debate about a wide variety of sports topics. And now, here's Jasmine.
Welcome back to 60 Minutes in Black America. And to start it off, we're going to talk about Black ownership. And just a few notable hires that happened this week that were monumental were Black ownership and coaching. Las Vegas Raiders are naming Sandra Douglas Morgan as president. She becomes the first Black female president in NFL history to be a president, which is a phenomenal job. Congratulations to her. Then, of course, we have San Jose Sharks hiring Mike Grier as the first Black GM in NHL history. He is also the brother of Chris Grier, who is the general manager of the Miami Dolphins. So that is a big deal. And not to mention, this happened a couple months back. Melody Hobson, part owner of the Denver Broncos, she becomes the first NFL owner as a Black woman to be part of ownership in the NFL. So let's bring in Frank and Jeremiah, my guests tonight. So guys, what is your thoughts on, and I'll start with you, Frank, what is your thoughts on the Black ownership of these hires, and if this is just the ceiling or there's more to come?
This isn't the ceiling. This is just part of the progress, right? So if you think back to pre Mr. Grier, like nobody really thought of hockey and somebody of African-American descent being in his role, but we're here. So, you roll forward, hopefully not 20 years from now, but let's say 20 years from now, there'll be plenty more like him. But can you think about how happy Mr. Bobby Grier is, like to have Chris and his other son, as executives in pro sports? That's awesome. Miss Morgan, I mean, that is a wonderful thing. Not only to have a person of color, but a lady of color being a role in a predominantly male area. I mean, that's awesome. So, I think we're just one step into a long journey. I think what needs to happen now is just more folks in actual ownership versus key executive roles. I'd love to think how some of the ex-players could pull together to create an ownership group to pick up a team. And it's probably going to start at the minor league level and work their way up.
For sure. And Jeremiah, what he mentioned, he talked about both Grier brothers. You both are Miami Dolphins fans. So you guys are familiar with Chris Grier. What does this make you feel, Jeremiah, to see these two brothers in these positions like this?
Well, to me, it's such a great feeling to see this. Not to mention, they are African Americans themselves. And that is just a plus to me as well, because you already know the certain huddles and, the certain things that they'll have to go to get to that next step, to work even harder, to work, at a different type of rate, and to be chosen for that different responsibility. I think it goes a long way. And just like he said before, their mom and dad should be, the proudest parents, because both have, a job in a great, executive roles for their own organizations, for hockey and for the NFL. And I know that they're going to be aiming to hit even a higher ceiling And for me, I will want them to even go for more of an ownership, just working towards that, because, the sky is the limit, and it's going to inspire so many like myself and others right behind me.
Absolutely. And not to mention, Chris Greer has made a lot of notable moves the past couple of years with the Miami Dolphins. So I think, of course, he's going to give his brother pointers of how to get the San Jose Sharks back in business and different things like that. But it's phenomenal to see all these things that happened this week. And it's for us being young, inspiring sports industry people, it's very awesome to see this because it's inspiring. Like, I mean, a Black woman is a president of an NFL team. She's the first to do this. So it's phenomenal. Then I mentioned before, Melody Hobson, she's part owner of the Denver Broncos. And you're starting to see a lot of things moving in that direction. And it's phenomenal to see because, and I think, of course, we have a long way to go. I agree with you, Frank. And just to see, like, what can we do better? What can we do to get these people in the top position so they can hold that and have longevity in that position? But Jeremiah, when we look at NHL, I'm a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. And when we look at hockey, you don't really see a lot of African American men playing in the sport. I mean, I think the Lightning, we have one, but you don't see it a lot. So being that the San Jose Sharks get Mike Greer, and does this open the door for more African American NHL players? Are we going to start seeing that maybe?
I believe it does, because allowing other minorities inside there will actually open their eyes to actually seeing other ones that are just like them, to just be like, I see things you guys can't see. And especially from my side, I can see a lot of ones that are working and probably don't have the resources to get to that certain place that, that you will see so many that not in it, which is the NHL. And for me, I think that he would do a great job with actually, moving about and actually finding those players that they need, whether it's inside the draft, ones that are maybe undrafted, or just the ones that are working their way to get to that spot and to where they at. And I feel like having those type of players on that team, it will build their team to get to the next level.
Absolutely. And I want to see a lot. Of course, when it comes to us in sports, of course, for centuries, even not centuries, but years prior, we were prohibited from playing sports. And now you're starting to see a lot of your top athletes are African American. And we'll love to see that start to trickle in the NHL. That would be very awesome. We're very athletic people. So, I mean, it would be awesome. But
yes,
Frank, what about for you? So now let's look into the NFL. We know there's a lot of questions in the NFL and things that could be a lot better, but this is a step in the right direction with Melody Hobson and Sandra. But what do you think that there's going to be a lot more African American women starting to get into these roles? Because I see a lot of it starting to happen.
I think, if you look, you've got two dynamic ladies in this sport, and it just now takes these two ladies to continue doing great things to get the attention of other ladies to say, hey, let me go there. Like, it just opens up another avenue, right? If I understand correctly, Miss Morgan is an attorney, right? So I'm sure there are other great African American female attorneys that can now think about getting involved in NFL, getting involved in sports. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think this is just the start of something much bigger to come. You think about the lady who's the WNBA team. You think about what the WNBA is doing right now to bring Brittany Griner home. I mean,
Yep.
There are a lot of things that are happening that just speak volumes about women empowerment and the ability to lead. So, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg.
It is. And with the NFL being 70% African American, you need those individuals like Melody, like Sandra in those positions to have some relatability, being able that, an African American athlete can go to her and say, you know what I'm going through, and we're all going through, and they can make things happen. So it's a very phenomenal thing. So I'm excited. I want to say congratulations to all three of them. Hopefully there's more to come. Hopefully there's a lot more that are being inspired, like myself and Jeremiah. I'm really excited about this, but we're going to go to our first midpoint break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA free agency and what's going on with that. And that one's going to be a hot one. But Thank you, Michael, so much for allowing me to be a part of this and host tonight. So we'll be right back with a short break to talk more sports.
You're watching a special sports edition of 60 Minutes in Black America. Tonight's show is hosted by Jasmine Pollock. Jasmine is a senior at Warner University in Florida and is majoring in sport and entertainment management. You can catch Jasmine live each Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on her show, First Impression Sports Talk. Go to JasmineOnSports.com for more information. And now, back to more 60 Minutes in Black America with special host Jasmine Pollock.
Welcome back to 60 Minutes in Black America. I'm your host, Jasmine Pollock, and we're talking all things sports. So let's bring in everybody back. Now we're heading into the NBA free agency and just the hoopla going on with that. We have the Brooklyn Nets in shambles. Utah looks like they're in shambles. Everyone's trying to pair with everyone. So, Frank, I want to start with you. Let's start in Brooklyn. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, what is going to happen with these two players?
Jasmine, you know good and well, I do not feel this at all. So Kyrie, I like, they got to get rid of Kyrie. So and I really believe Brooklyn has to blow that entire thing up. I keep hearing how he's going to get to LA, but for Russell Westbrook coming back, I like Darvin Ham in LA, but I just can't see Kyrie being in Brooklyn. Kevin Durant, I love Kevin Durant as a player. I love him as a player. I think he's a closer. I think he gets underrated as a player. But some of the antics that have gone on, and you can even see it with him now. He's fed up with Kyrie. He wants out, but everybody's looking at him like, you can't lead, right? So it's a real problem. It is a real problem. I see a comment here. KD is not going back to the Warriors.
I hope not.
That is not happening. All right, he's going to get crushed for leaving and then going back. So that's not happening. I'm sorry. So, but yeah, I see Brooklyn getting busted up. I think the best situation for Brooklyn is to jettison both players, get a bunch of draft picks, start over, and try to get a team that's young, that plays hard and plays every night. And right now, Kyrie does not play every night. He doesn't play half the night. He doesn't play quarter of the night. KD is a true player, but he came up missing in the playoffs. And for them to get swept. Oh, I can't. I can't deal with it.
Can we all agree that whole Brooklyn team was a disaster? Like, of course, we all saw, James Harden, Kyrie, KD, and that was probably the most offensively gifted team we've ever seen in history, just how those guys play and score. But that was an epic failure in Brooklyn. And I just don't know. I feel bad for the fans. Like, how do you feel? Like, you have these top three guys who can score the rock better than most people, and you don't have a championship to show for it, or even a finals appearance to show for it. And when I look at this, Kevin Durant, I'm very hard on him. I still think he's a very talented player, but I'm very hard on him because it's just when he left OKC, I don't think that will never leave me. Maybe other people may forgive him for that, but him leaving OKC, being up 3-1, and then you go to a 73-3 winning team, and I got 2 rings, and everybody's praising me, I'm the best. No, you went to a team that was already together, and then it makes it worse. You leave, that team wins the championship this year. So if he goes back to Golden State, what does that say about his legacy? Like, do you need Golden State? So you can't do it by yourself. Golden State is your big brother in a way. And for one, if I'm Steph Curry, I'm not co-signing that anymore. Even though I know in the beginning he co-signed it because I don't think they would have beat LeBron with just Clay and Curry. No, I don't believe it. But if I'm Steph Curry, with how people talk about him and how he's being raved, no, I'm not bringing Durant back. This is my team. This is who I am. I was drafted by this team. I wouldn't want him back. But for Kyrie does need to go from Brooklyn. He caused a lot of issues. Even James Harden was upset. Obviously, KD was upset. But I wouldn't mind personally seeing Kyrie go back to LA with the Lakers. But that's going to cause a lot of issues with Russell, what's Russell going to say about that? Are you going to be comfortable with coming off the bench, which is a whole nother conversation? But I see Jeremiah, you're shaking your head. What are your thoughts? Do you see Kyrie coming to LA?
To be honest with you, he wants to go to LA. I'm pretty sure that the Nets, they're gonna try to do anything to kind of sabotage that, to where it's like you're not gonna get what you want because you didn't give us what we wanted from you, which is your availability and also, your commitment to this team. And it can't go all Kyrie's way all the time. And I understand he wants to turn a certain leaf and go where LeBron is and everything, and because he knows he messed up in the past or everything else. But bro, you have a job right now, and you just can't be like, okay, I want to leave, I'm going to go and leave and everything else, where we're not going to give you what you want all the time because you didn't give us what we wanted, like I said at the beginning. So Kyrie, he has to really take a step back and, know that he's not always in the driver's seat the whole time. And I think that that's what the NBA is going to change over time with, because you see right now, so many different players are having so much of the control now, which is not a bad thing. But it's in a worse way right now that, the owners have no type of say so. These players can be like, oh, I want to just leave. Can I get a trade and then just get out of here? And they have like a max out contract where they have to, go by these whole years. So I just feel like it's going to be a change to where these owners and the CBA is going to change through the whole thing when it comes to 2023.
And I hope so, because the way the direction of the league is going, you have a lot of these guys forcing their way out of these places. I just see a comment. How about KD to the Lakers? Okay. I don't know if that's happening, because I think LeBron and KD are both like rivals, if you want to call it that, which I don't think it's a rivalry anymore. That conversation is over to me. But check this out. Brooklyn should not be surprised by Kyrie's antics. He's been doing this. He did this when he was with Cleveland. Remember the reports, he was going to get surgery on purpose because he wasn't happy with what was going on with Cleveland. He wanted to be the number one guy. Even though we knew LeBron was the number one guy, he was the leader of that team. The reason why Kyrie wanted to leave Cleveland was because he wanted to be the leader. He wanted to be the top dog. He goes to Boston, didn't work. That team, if you look at this Boston team, and even they still had that same Boston team when Kyrie was there, they didn't need a superstar guy like that to come in and try to tell us, oh, I'm going to be your leader. No, that's not how that works. Then he goes to Brooklyn, and KD followed him. Okay, I'm going to go where Kyrie goes. I'm going to follow Kyrie's lead. And obviously, Kyrie's lead wasn't leading correctly. So when I look at it, Kyrie's been like this. And I'm going to say it again. I believe LeBron James is the only superstar in this league that can keep Kyrie under wraps. Frank, do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think that Kyrie he's one of those interesting kind of players, but do you think LeBron James is able to he's going to be able to keep them reeled in if he does go to LA?
Okay, so Jasmine, I got issue with all of that. So first off, Kyrie, like you just said, right? He didn't do anything in Cleveland until LeBron was there. He didn't do anything in Boston. Right. Mm-hmm. And Boston was set up for him to just show up, distribute the rock, right, and they could have been where they are this year and maybe even won when he was there. He goes to Brooklyn. He gets arguably the best player with him, then gets another dude to come there and Harden, and they can't make it work.
Right.
So now LA is saying we want that to save us? No, heck no. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Right. So, but Kyrie, I know why Kyrie wants to go to LA, because that's the only place he had success was with LeBron. Mm-hmm. When you strip away LeBron, what has Kyrie done?
Absolutely.
Other than that movie he made. He was good in that movie. But
yes,
other than that,
Uncle Drew.
That's it. Right. Mm-hmm. KD to the Lakers. Listen, I would love it, but that ain't going to work either.
It won't.
And somebody made a comment, and they are spot on. KD should have never left Golden State. And he really, for real, since he made the move to leave Golden State, he should not leave Brooklyn. He left. I understand why he left OKC to get to Golden State, right? He wanted to do exactly what LeBron did. I need to go somewhere and learn how to win. So he did that. He got 2 rings in Golden State. Should have stayed there. Now he's saying he wants to strike out on his own and go to Brooklyn. Now he teamed up with the wrong cat, but he made his commitment. So for him to leave Brooklyn now to go somewhere else to say it, to do it again, yeah, you selling yourself short. You're not owning up to your own commitment, right? Go be committed to winning wherever that is. Stay there, put in the effort, and go get the ring.
Agreed. We'll definitely see what's going to happen with Kyrie and KD. That I think that conversation is going to continuously happen to see where those guys land. But let's go to Utah. Jeremiah, let's bring you in too. So Utah, they lost their coach. Rudy Gobert went to the Timberwolves. It's just I don't know what's going on in Utah. So Jeremiah, what is the look in Utah? Utah was one of those teams that constantly kept going to the playoffs, but obviously they don't have much to show for it. But what's going to happen now? What's going to Donovan Mitchell's by himself? What's going to happen?
Well, when it comes to this year is going to tell you where Utah is really at. We already know when it comes to Utah, they'll make the playoffs like you said, but it's nowhere. There's either first round or second round exits. Even when it was in the 90s, they would get all the way to the finals and they wouldn't win because Jordan was there. But when it comes to Utah right now, you know, they really have no type of big identity of like, you know, I'm the team to reckon with, because just forget about Gobert and everything else, getting rid of him. But also right now, where is the direction? You're going to have a new coach coming in and you're going to have a lone Mitchell on that team. This year is going to determine if he's going to stay or if he's going to be out the door. Now, we know when it comes to him, he gives his all on and off the court. Like he gives his all to that city. You know, he didn't leave when he had a chance to, right after the bubble and everything else, when he had problems with Gobert and everything else. They chose Mitchell now. But Mitchell needs the organization to do something around him so they can get to that next level, because Utah is always the little brother to the other teams around the NBA.
And Donovan Mitchell is one of the phenomenal young talented players in this league. And he deserves a lot better than what he's getting. But to you, Frank, Rudy Gobert going to the Timberwolves, is that a big deal? Does that make the Timberwolves a severe threat to a lot of people? What does that move entail about Rudy Gobert leaving?
Well, it's a couple of different things the way I look at it. First off, what the Timberwolves got for Gobert, I think is what they gave up. I mean, was it 5 picks?
Yeah, 5 picks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a lot for a guy who's been defensive player of the year, but not really an offensive threat in today's pace and space NBA. So, you know, when you go start talking about Kevin Durant, that might be why that's being held up. But in terms of what's going on in Utah, I think there's a bigger problem in Utah. It has more to do with, you know, you think about Mitchell was drafted there. What free agent wants to go there?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, we could talk about the front office wanting to put people around, and Spider Mitchell's a high quality player.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have to throw money at folks to go to Utah, and then you got to make certain that you're throwing it at the right person. Otherwise, you end up getting a Kyrie or Westbrook getting overpaid and not delivering. And that's just going to push Mitchell out the door. So they've got a bigger problem they've got to address. I don't know how they address it. But for the Timberwolves, you know, 2 bigs, I'm kind of thinking there's something else coming. I mean, to have those 2, I mean, they're both quality players, but they're big. I mean, so, you know, who's going to be their wing? Who's going to be their point guard? I look at that and go, there feels like there's another move. They've got talent. They made the playoffs, but the move just doesn't seem to fit. It seems like they're positioning for something else.
Yeah, and when I look at Rudy Gobert, I'm not saying he isn't a good player. I just, having watched him over the couple years, I haven't been very impressed with him. I think he's a very good, he can be physical at times, and again, he can't be physical. And when I look at the Timberwolves team, I thought that young Timberwolves team, I think they can be a very physical force coming up. And, when you look at Karl Anthony Towns, when you look at Edwards, when you look at Pat Bev, when you bring guys like that, that means there's physicality added to the game. Rudy Gobert, I don't really see him as a physical threat to me. And like you said, I said this before. I mean, I heard some comparisons of them being compared to the Twin Towers, like Duncan and Robinson with the Spurs, which I don't understand that comparison, but I just don't look at that as a good fit. I'm not saying that the Timberwolves can't make it work or try to, like you said, there could be something else happening. Who is their point guard? Patrick Beverly, okay, he's not a scorer either. He's he's your antagonizer. He's your physical person on defense. He gives you those types of minutes. But as far as a scorer, who else can they have that can score the rock? So we'll definitely see. But like you said, who wants to go to Utah? Even though Donovan Mitchell is a phenomenal player, but who is Utah desirable to go to? I mean, look around there. I don't know if it's I just don't know if a player like a Kevin Durant wants to go there. And, even Durant, he wants to go to a team that's already stacked. We know that about him. But it's I wouldn't want to go to Utah. It looks dysfunctional already. New coach and different things like that. So, Jeremiah, now let's switch gears to the Clippers, the other LA team. They have John Wall now. John Wall said, "Oh, good luck." I just saw his press conference earlier. Good luck for the third string defender to guard me. What is going to happen with the Clippers? Does this make Clippers a good team? Does this make Clippers the number one team? What do you think?
I think it gives Clippers, okay, they have another asset, but at the same time, what kind of Clippers are you getting? Because as a John Wall, we haven't seen you play since early in the season of when you was playing with Houston.
Yep.
And even when you was playing with them, you had yourself, a little mediocre year. It wasn't like your best years when you was at the Wizards. Those injuries and everything will catch up. And who knows how long he is going to be healthy. God forbid anything happens to him. But it's a lot of talk and a lot of different things. And I know he has a lot of, that battery on his back because he hasn't played in a while and he wants to prove himself. But you're going to have a lot of people as you on a target to where it's come right now. I can defend you and shut you down any way that it can. And for, like we just talked about earlier, when it comes to John Wall and him being on the floor, I wonder how that's going to go with him and Reggie Jackson, who is going to start. I believe that Reggie Jackson is going to start because I feel like it works with him on the floor with them. Having those younger players out there, it opens the floor for him to kind of, facilitate and get them the ball or, going his own speed. Having John Wall and him both out there, I feel it's going to cause just a bunch of clutteredness and everything else. And to be honest, I don't know what kind of John Wall they're going to get.
And if I'm the Clippers, I am not benching Reggie Jackson for John Wall. John Wall, yeah, I've seen he has a lot of great, had a lot of great moments, but what John Wall are we getting? And then the Clippers are already questionable enough. I mean, 1 minute they look good, the next minute they look bad. It seems to me the Clippers are only up to play the Lakers. They want to win up the Lakers every time.
It's a bunch of ifs at the end of the day. If Kawhi comes back, if Paul George come back, when they do come back, it's we need to see something.
The thing is, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
Listen, somebody just wrote John Wall is a scrub. I'm not gonna call him a scrub. He's been out for what, a year and a half? He could have been working on that jump shot for a year and a half. Right?
That's true.
And listen, they're gonna probably put him. They've got to put him on the second, and to John Wall's point, maybe even the third guard off. If he's got any burst left with a jumper going against second and third team, he can be a depth builder for that team. That team's going to be curious to me. But to y'all's point, they only seem to get up when they're playing, their in-house rivals, right? The rest of the time, you just don't know what's going on with them. But they've got enough talent that if they can keep it together, and they got a coach, all right?
They do. Ty Lue's a phenomenal coach.
So, and I trust Ty to make that work. If there's anything that's got a question mark going on, I'm going to trust Ty with that. So I'm not going to sleep on the Clippers, but yeah, John Wall is an issue.
Someone said, ain't need for a Wall to work on a jumper, he is a sad version of a scrub. Oh wow. So
all right, now look, y'all shooting shots at John. All right.
So everyone's not really fond of John Wall. We'll definitely see what's going to happen with him. But like I said, the Clippers to me always get up. And then the biggest question: how is Kawhi going to be? This guy's been off for a very long time, so we don't know. Is this going to be the same Kawhi? Is Kawhi going to have that burst? Is he going to be that guy again? So there's a little question. There's some questions with the Clippers, but I wish Ty Lue could have went to the Lakers. I genuinely do. I think the Lakers have a lot of messiness going on, and I wish Ty Lue could, he could have unified that team. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. But final thing, let's backtrack. So you guys, who do you see? Let's look at the Celtics team now. The Celtics team just lost the NBA Finals. What do they need a superstar player? Do you see potentially a superstar like maybe Kevin Durant going to a Celtics team?
Listen. I like what they did bringing in Malcolm Brogdon. I think Malcolm is going to be a good fit for them because he brings some steady offense from the point position. If they can keep Marcus Smart on the floor next to him, that's going to be a tough team because Malcolm's a tough-nosed point guard. Like I like that as a backcourt, and then you got Robert Williams in the post with a healthy set of legs on him. Like that's going to be a tough team.
Well, it depends on if he stays healthy. It depends on if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I'm with you. But the challenge is Toronto, Milwaukee. Milwaukee is upset. Milwaukee is upset that they didn't get to go. So, they're coming back. Miami, so the East is stacked up, but I do like what Boston did.
What about 76ers getting PJ Tucker? Does that make 76ers formidable? And then James Harden taking the pay cuts. Who knows?
Listen, I like it, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough, right? Like, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Just when it comes to PJ Tucker, he's gonna give you that dog because you know how he did in Miami in that last season, during the playoffs. But at the same time, is everybody else gonna get up and have that dog in them like PJ and Joel Embiid will have, or even Maxine? Like, will the rest of them get on board? Because you saw how Harden was when it came to that last playoff game. Maxine was the only one that showed up in that last game when the Heat swept him off the floor.
Hey, Jeremiah, I got to ask you something, right? So do you think Harden ate enough humble pie this playoffs that he's actually going to show up next year in shape and ball through the season? And what would that look like if he did?
No, because this is my thing. Harden hasn't proved anything for these last years. He can take as many pay cuts as he wants. But it's all about you showing up at the end of the day for your team. A team can have you to have so many opportunities for you to have your humbleness, but at the same time, they need something in return. Like, you're supposed to be a high-level player in your prime right now. You can't be wasting it.
I see a comment. It's talking about what team has the players they need but are a coach away. Oof.
Some folks would say Philly. They were getting after Doc.
Philly, the Pelicans, yeah.
I don't trust the Pelicans.
I don't trust the Pelicans as a whole because I don't even know what Zion. I don't know what his status is on him coming to play back. But when I look at the 76ers, there's a lot of questions I have about Doc Rivers. Okay, since he's won that championship with the Celtics, he hasn't really done anything since then. He had a very good Clippers team, and then now you still have a very good 76ers team, but there's nothing to show for it. When is Doc Rivers going to be that coach that people claim him to be? I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but they put him up there, with the Phil Jackson. I hear people talk about him like that. So I'm just like, he hasn't really, very disrespectful. But we'll see. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the NBA. There's going to be a lot more moves coming, but we're going to head to a short break. If you guys want to be a guest on my show that airs every Monday, Jasmine's First Impression Sports Talk at 9 p.m. Eastern, you can go to my website at jasmineonsports.com to keep up with my latest videos, if you want to be a guest on the show and just, keep giving your support. So we'll be right back for a fire segment called Free for All. So we'll be right back.
You're watching a special sports edition of 60 Minutes in Black America. Tonight's show is hosted by Jasmine Pollock. Jasmine is a senior at Warner University in Florida and is majoring in sport and entertainment management. You can catch Jasmine live each Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on her show, First Impression Sports Talk. Go to JasmineOnSports.com for more information. And now, back to more 60 Minutes in Black America with special host Jasmine Pollock.
Welcome back to 60 Minutes in Black America. And the voices you just heard were from Kelly Johnson and Deion Hunter. And I want to personally thank them for their phenomenal, great work. And again, if you want to be a guest on my show, Jasmine's First Impression Sports Talk, which airs every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, you can go to my website at jasmineonsports.com to keep up with the latest videos and being a guest. So the final segment of the day, this one's going to be very, very fun. It's called Free for All. So I'm going to put out a statement for you, Jeremiah, and for you, Frank, and then even the comments, the audience, if you're watching, you can put in your thoughts. I'm very interested into hearing everyone's thoughts. I'm going to say a statement, and I'm going to say true or false, and you guys just go away. I might chime in, but, we're going to see. So this is the first one. Mac Jones will win a Super Bowl out of the QBs in his draft class. Not to mention those QBs that are in his draft class, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. Go ahead. True or false?
True. Mac Jones is in the best situation. He's in the best situation. Trevor's talented. Fields is talented, but Mac's up there in the Patriots. So no, I got to go with him. And I hate saying that as a Dolphins fan.
I mean, he has great consistency and everything else, but Super Bowl, he has to get past a couple of people to get to the Super Bowl.
Wait, hold on. Pause,
I don't think that he can. I don't think that he can. He's a great quarterback. I think he's a cool quarterback. He has time to improve. He has time to improve.
Oh God!
But I do not see him actually getting to a Super Bowl. Not just in these 10 years. I don't see him. So
the statement was he will win a Super Bowl out of his QB class. So no. What other QB in that draft class is going to win a Super Bowl before him? So I said Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance. So one of those quarterbacks are going to win a Super Bowl before Mac Jones.
No.
Wait, hold on. Because look, we haven't really got a good thing of the other quarterbacks.
Oh goodness.
What good has come out of the Jets? What good has come out of the Jets?
No, I'm not talking about the Jets. You also got Justin Fields. You also got
Justin Fields
come out of Chicago.
Yes, but who knows what kind of leap he can take if he leaves Chicago? Because we haven't really seen him at his great potential. We've seen great things from Mac Jones that can get him to another different level. But the other ones, they didn't really get that opportunity yet.
Okay, I'm going to mention something. Let's look at this. Okay, we're talking. Okay, so Mac Jones, he plays with the Patriots. We know what the Patriots stand for. Justin Fields is with the Chicago Bears, the Bears. Okay. Then you have Justin Fields or Trey Lance, who is with the 49ers. And there's questions. And even what makes it worse, though, if you're saying that, we haven't seen them given a chance, they're choosing Jimmy Garoppolo over Trey Lance. So what does that say about Trey Lance right now? Is he prepared to play in that position? Then when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're a mess. Look at what Trevor Lawrence he has around him. And then Zach Wilson, I think he has the better team compared to the Patriots than the rest of them. But there is no quarterback. Those young quarterbacks are not winning over Mac Jones. I don't agree, Jeremiah.
Now I would say Mac Jones had a great bust out year when it came to last year. He got them to the playoffs. I am never going
Okay.
to doubt him. I don't think that he is the worst one in that class at all.
No, he's
But
the
I
best
still
one
need to see
right
more
now.
He's in the best
from Trey Lance.
situation.
I still need to see more because
Okay.
I know that they say, he's not ready yet and everything else.
So what
They
does
got
that say?
Jimmy
That means
Garoppolo.
that means that Mac Jones is prepared to play the position. So Trey Lance may not be prepared or ready to play that position yet. Are we going to talk about that?
But at the same time, look at the different competition that is from both sides.
Jeremiah.
The competition that's from both sides. I'm just gonna go
Jeremiah.
over because look at this. Green Bay, they are going to have Aaron Rodgers to be out of there, which is in another like 3 years. Let's just say another 3 years. So that division is going to be wide open. So let that division will probably be wide open. You got, of course, the Vikings over there, but who knows how long that thing is going to be.
No,
but you got.
So you're saying Justin Fields is going? So Justin Fields is going to be running the North. That's what you're telling me.
I'm not saying all of that.
Jeremiah.
I'm not saying all that, but he can be. He can take them to another level.
With what talent around him? They have lost people.
But this is my thing. I can't tell it right now, but they need more opportunity to get that. They need
more talent. They need more coaching. They need a whole lot more in Chicago.
And that's
they need
what
a whole
I
lot
mean.
more in Jacksonville.
Look, Mac Jones, he got put in a better situation. I feel like he got put in a better situation when it comes to him being with New England.
So Mac Jones, to me, is going to win a Super Bowl out of all those guys. But we have to go to the next statement. There's more. We're going to have a whole conversation about that later. But Aaron Donald is not the greatest defensive player of all time.
That's true.
What do you think, Jeremiah?
Aaron Donald is not the best defensive player of all time.
Okay, we can all agree.
He a bad dude. He a bad dude, but he ain't the greatest of all time.
He's not. But you have to go down the list with all these other great ones. You have to go down.
Reggie White,
a bad dude. Reggie. Listen, I'm old school. I like Ronnie Lott. Like,
true. Yes.
Right. Ed Reed. No.
Ed Reed, Deion Sanders.
So
exactly.
Like we can go down this whole list. Ray Lewis. And these are hard hitters at the end of the day. Not saying that Aaron Donald is not a hard hitter and everything else, but calling him the best in history, no, I am not ever going to be saying that.
When we look at Aaron Donald, though, like, yes, he's phenomenal. I think he's a great player. I think right now, he's probably the best defender right now. And as we speak, these past couple of years, absolutely. But we're talking about all time. Like, I mean, that means you single-handedly can change a game. I've seen guys single-handedly change a game. Now, he has had those games, but I feel like as far as the running game, he can be had. Because I'll say this. When the Rams have played the Packers the past couple of years, we have dominated them on the offensive side of the ball, running the ball, throwing the ball, all of that. So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, so Aaron Donald's supposed to be the best. He's supposed to be. That means every time I see him on the field, you can have a couple of games off, but every time I see you should stand out to me on the screen. There's other guys to me that I've seen that stood out off of the screen. For example, when they got Von Miller from the Broncos this past year when they won the Super Bowl, Von Miller popped more than Aaron Donald did to me. And I think he added a lot more to that team because of his edge rushing ability. It's scary. But when Aaron Donald's one-on-one on you, good luck. Good luck. I'm saying he's a phenomenal player. I think he is the best defensive player right now, but we're talking about in history? No, absolutely not.
And I do agree because, he wasn't the only one that took over that Super Bowl game.
No.
He was not the only one. He was a great piece to come to there. But the tag team of Vaughn and plus Aaron Donald, made a huge difference when it came to that line. And let's not mention the Bengals had a terrible line.
They did.
They had a terrible line. They got themselves a whole line this offseason. And, we're going to see how that team's going to be.
You just brought up a good point, too. If we look at the Super Bowl and then when you look at the championship, or not the championship before that, when they played the Bucs in the divisional round, The Bucks didn't have their number one guys on offense, their offensive line either. And they still were almost able to come back in that game. So there's a lot of questions that, I asked. But when we look at Aaron Donald, like I said before, he is a phenomenal player. I think he's the best defensive player right now. But when we're talking about all time, I need to see more. I need to see a lot more from him. I need to see consistently every year you are dominating the game every time. But we're gonna go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's a bad dude, but LT was a guy that they were scared of him. Like
yes.
LT, they were flat out scared of him, right?
Yes.
And I haven't seen a player like that. I take that back. Ray Lewis, people were nervous about Ray.
Yeah, Ray Lewis used to hit.
But LT, no, people were flat out scared of him. He's the best thing I ever saw.
Mm-hmm. And when you look and think about that, like when I look at Aaron Donald, yes, he's phenomenal, but that fear that Ray Lewis and LT and those guys put in you, and even Deion Sanders, you didn't want to throw over there to Deion Sanders at all. You didn't want to. Like I knew what was going to happen. You knew what was going to happen as a quarterback. And even though the rules have changed, maybe that plays a role, but still, like I'm yet to see somebody say, man, I'm scared of Aaron Donald. Some of those guys are not scared of him. Like I'm up for the challenge. If I lose, I just lose. If whatever, but not to diminish his talent because he's a very talented player. But we're gonna go to the next one. Kevin Durant will never win another title. True or false?
True.
Why do you say true?
Because I think the only way he can win himself another championship is if he goes back to Golden State. That is the only way that he goes and wins the championship. But I don't think that his pride would let him go back to Golden State. Because his pride was the one that made him leave Golden State. His pride is not going to let him go back there. Because you already know he is one of the most sensitive athletes that we know when it comes to watching everything on social media, is arguing with analysis and everything else like that. So
back and forth.
I don't really see him winning another championship. It's going to be on the verge, because even if he goes back and win another one with Golden State, it's still going to be you had to use Golden State to get him.
He ain't going to Golden State. He's not going to Golden State. I'm sorry.
Frank, what do you think about this comment here? It says Durant will be on an A team that wins, but he won't have anything to do with it.
Well, listen, I can see a scenario where KD is still a bad dude, but he's long in the tooth. Like he's in his last year or two with a team, and he's on the team. He's there to be a distraction. But I'm not ready to rule him out because he's a talented player. He's just got a whole bunch of stuff to come with his bag, right? But you do know when he gets on the line, gets in between the lines, he's going to hoop.
Yes, absolutely.
Hoop. All right. So for that alone, I'm going to put him in contention. I'm not going to say any team that he is on. He's not going to have anything to do with it. But the pathway right now to him getting a ring is very skinny, and there's a lot of toe boosts along the way.
And plus, he's getting older, and not to mention the injuries he had earlier this year.
When you look at the teams now, everybody has their number one guy now. So Durant, where are you gonna go? Are you gonna try to a mama's boy? Okay. So when we look at Durant, right? Like when you look at all these teams, where are you going to go that you're gonna be the number one guy though? And and I kind of agree with the comment that was there earlier talking about him being on an A team. There's a lot of teams in this league that has the number one guy. Okay, you go to Miami. We could say Jimmy Butler, that's his team. Now, somebody mentioned Boston. I think it was Michael. Does Boston really have that top guy? Because we thought it was Jason Tatum, but here comes Jaylen Brown, who's emerged in the finals in a way.
Yeah, because nobody wants to take control. Somebody has to take control in Boston and be like, I'm your number one. I'm your leader. Who's their leader at Boston right now?
Okay, then
for me, it'd be a different question. Why would Boston want Kevin Durant? They just made it to the finals.
Right. Beating him. They swept him.
That plus
and KD can't go back to the team that just swept him.
That's
sorry,
embarrassing.
You can't do that.
But listen, Tatum right now is working because Tatum ate some humble pie in the playoffs, right? Like
I agree.
Got in the finals and did not show out. His boy from across on the other side of the wing, Jaylen Brown, showed up. Like he showed up, right? So, and if I'm looking at Boston, I'm in the executive level there. I'm going, nah, we got some team. We brought in Malcolm. He's going to help us. KD is 34, right? So, in normal lifetime, he got 3, maybe 4 years left, right? At top level, he's a talent. Maybe you can get 5. Well, where is he going to go in 5 years and get it?
Yeah.
That's true.
And
Listen,
just
I don't
like
want to
that,
hear
it's
Mama
like,
Durant on here.
yeah, Mama Durant, she's gonna be very upset with us. But much respect to Mama Durant. She's a phenomenal mother. But it's just, when I look at Durant, it's getting slim for him. It's getting very, very slim. And he created this for himself. I mean, when you left OKC, you were up 3-1. It wasn't like you guys had Golden State in the corner. You had them. All you had to do is win one game. And now you went to Golden State. Okay, you won your championships. That it feels like doesn't mean anything to him. People say, like, okay, they're talking about Curry. And like I said, and I'm going to say it again. And I said it before. And if we're talking about all time, Curry is over Durant all time currently right now. You could say, okay, do I think Durant's a better overall player? Absolutely. But when we're looking at resume, we're looking at career. I have Steph Curry over him just by, what happened, especially in him. And Curry strengthened that by winning this championship. And then he dominated the Celtics, a very good Celtics team. But the next one, Jeremiah and Frank, you guys are Dolphins fans. Tua Tagovailoa will silence his critics.
I agree 1,000%.
No.
Frank, take it away. Why do you?
Go ahead, Frank.
No. Listen, I'm going to be his biggest critic. So I hope he does silence me, okay? I hope he silences me. I want to make that clear, all right? I am a huge Dolphins fan. I hope Tua Tagovailoa silences me and shuts me up. But right now, I have genuine concern for my Dolphins. What I know is they're, in the old schedule, it was 8-8, 7-9,
right.
8-8, 9-7. They could never string it together to get wins. Right now, everybody's talking about him this year. Like, oh, they should do something. They brought in Tyreek Hill. Oh, he should make things happen. Right? I need to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no noise. Right? I want to see it. And right now, what I've seen doesn't say anything to me.
Listen, I have to remind everyone, and thank you, Voss Perkins, for your comment. Thank you very much. I have to say, Jeremiah, and I know you're a big Tua fan. Okay, let's not forget, just a few months ago, we saw that throw in practice to Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek had to come back for the ball. So, Jeremiah, what is your take on that? Will he silence his critics? Yes or no?
I think that he is going to silence his critics. Look at this.
No,
the moments that Tua has been inside the football league,
okay,
he has been one of the most accurate quarterbacks.
Really?
Let's not leave that out. When it comes to numbers and his stats, as a rookie, he led with the most accuracy, even if it was short passes and everything else. When it comes to Tua, he is going to take a leap this year. I've been hearing all around through the practice. I wasn't out there and everything else, but I've been hearing around so many different players. They was like, the media's showing you, what they want to show you, what certain throws that they want to get out there.
Okay,
but they don't know that all the players that are saying this dude really has an arm. He can throw. He can launch when he wants to.
Okay,
and they have just a certain weapon of him that is going to just unleash this year.
Not to mention, they also got Cedric Wilson from Cowboys. He's another good receiver. So they have a good receiving core.
They got themselves some running back, and let's talk about it. He has himself a new O-line right now.
New O-line, new coach.
To work in a pocket. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to say he's a little bit shorter, of course, than other quarterbacks around the league and everything else. So him getting through that pocket and everything else. But at the same time, he's going to take this certain leap because you're going to see the real him just this next year. I'm calling it right now, and I hope we pull this up one of these.
Clip it. Yeah, clip this.
Clip it for sure. Production, clip this.
Because at the end of next season, when they're 10-7 or 7-10, right? Because they're 7-10, right? Tua is 58% passing, right?
58%, yes.
Mm-hmm. Right, and they're not doing anything. No. Now,
whoa.
And again, because I hope he proves me
Jeremiah,
wrong. I would
you
love.
You see the comment Tua's brother will win more NFL games than him.
And I'm putting it right here, right now.
He's still in college.
I'm putting here, right now. Tua and them, they're going to go to the playoffs. They are going to go to the playoffs, and they are going to go to the second round. I have them going to the second round of the playoffs.
Now, this is what I will say, and I agree with this comment right here. This year has to be Tua's year. Like he has a chance to prove people wrong, because with all of the weapons they have, and then you have the new coach who came from the 49ers. He was the offensive coordinator for the 49ers, so he has a rapport and he has a rhetoric. He has a game plan. Tua has to have a good year. Then I think we can. Then I believe the Dolphins will look past Tua.
If this has to be his year. I mean, they got everybody around him. If he doesn't do this year, then he out the door. I'm sorry to tell, but they're gonna put him out the door.
Jeremiah. That's about the only thing I'm gonna agree with you with today, right? If he don't do it this year,
do or die year.
You gotta go.
And I think he knows that. You know, having
do or die year for Tua
and everything else is gonna have him to be more comfortable to let him do his thing. So we're gonna see.
So in order for him to stay, right? I believe not only do they need to make the playoffs, but they need to advance in the playoffs to say we got something, right?
Okay.
And even if it's only one playoff game, they got to make the playoffs and win, right?
Gotcha.
I don't see that happening,
though. He said, "I don't see it happen." Clip this production. We're gonna see. Final one. Steph Curry is not all-time top 10.
What?
Not all-time top 10.
No, he top 10. He top 10.
I agree. He's not top 10.
He's changed the game.
No. He's not top 10.
He's not top 10 in
my not top 10.
Jeremiah, we were doing so good, man.
Wait, no way. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
I don't have him as my top 10 because you have to go through a lot of different ones to put him a top 10.
Okay.
Let's go down. You know, Jazz, help me out with this one. Of course, you got Michael, you got Jordan, you got yourself Kobe, you have yourself who was the one? Shaq.
Wait, hold on. I have a 10 list right here. This is not in any particular order. So is he better than Michael Jordan? Absolutely not. Is he better than Magic? No. Is he better than Kareem? No. When he's better than LeBron? No. He's not better than Shaq. He's not better than Kobe. He's not better than Larry Bird. He's not better than Tim Duncan, and he's not better than Wilt Chamberlain. Those are the top guys right there.
Because we're looking at the whole resume too, and that's the whole resume.
Let's look at the whole resume, because when his resume is done, he's going to be a top 10 scorer. He's already the most prolific three-point shooter. He's going to have as many rings as most of those cats on there, because you didn't put Bill Russell on there, and that was I would have to.
No, I have Bill Russell on there. He's on there.
Bill Russell on there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Bill's the winningest player, right?
Yes.
Wilt scored 100. Shaq was just the most dominant. Shaq changed the game. Wilt changed the game. Kareem's the most prolific scorer of all time. But Steph, nobody shoots like Steph.
But let's talk
about
it.
Handle. He doesn't even get credit for his handle.
But let's talk about it.
I'll give you this. Curry is the best three-point shooter of all time. I'll give him that. He is. If we had a shooting list, obviously he's up there. Now, if we're talking about scoring, he's up there. But we're talking about overall, I cannot put Curry in the top 10. I can't. The same argument I have against Durant, I have against Curry too, even though I still have Curry over Durant all time. But still, those two rings that you got, you called another prolific scorer to you to help you win. I can't. I just can't.
If Draymond is right and the Warriors win, 3 of the next 4, and I don't think he's right, but if they win,
I don't think he's right either.
He wins 2, and that gives him 6. You telling me he's not in the top 10?
He has to win more. I'll say that. For me, if he wins more championships, then I can ink him in there. But currently, right now, and then when I look at this, right, how I look at other people may not look at it this way, but how I look at top 10 players, when I look at best players of all time, I believe a player has to play in any era. When I look at these guys who played that I just named in the top 10, I believe they could play in any era and dominate. Curry, I question if you can go back to that serious rough time when the NBA didn't have all these tacky fouls and who didn't have this finesse game. I don't know if Curry could have dominated the way he is right now. I think MJ could have easily scored 50 or 60 a game in this league. I believe LeBron James could go back and play in this league. Of course, we know what Shaq could do and Kobe, what those guys could have done in this league. But I don't know if Curry could go back and say, I can go play with that Pistons team or that Bulls team or that Lakers team back then. I don't know about that.
Listen, Jasmine, I respectfully disagree. All right, because shooting is shooting, right? Like the game, that part of the game has not changed, and he does it better than anybody. Now, I see a list down here, and I love the list, right? The Doctor, AI, O'Neal, Jordan, Magic, and people underrate Larry Bird. Larry was a bad dude.
And I have Larry Bird up there too.
Right? Elgin, the Logo, Bill Russell, and Chamberlain. Like all of those are some dudes.
That's a solid list.
Because look at this. Even when it comes to Curry, he is the best 3-point shooter we've seen.
Absolutely, I give him that.
He doesn't have the best handles.
Ooh, LeBron is in top 10.
I think that Kyrie has way better handles than him. And other players, I think, have better handles than him. I think when it comes to his passing,
Steph doesn't
Magic Johnson is the best passer. That's the thing I would say.
Jeremiah, you lost me. Steph does not have good handles.
No, he has handles, but I don't think he has the best handles. When it comes to like being on that top 10 list, he doesn't have the best handles on that list.
Oh goodness! I mean,
man, we need more time. We need more time.
I don't think that he has the best.
Steph is the only cat that has handles like him and can shoot. I can't think of anybody who's polished at both of those. Like he is a dude. Now,
when we're talking
Michael,
about
if this was 2015, 2014, 2013, I would agree with you. But the brother, he's committed to defense now. He didn't put himself in the weight room. He's committed.
Defense.
But do you have him have better handles?
I ain't saying he locked down.
Does he have better handles than CP3? Does he have better handles than CP3?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Now this is where we got to cut it.
I don't think that has better handles than CP3.
Is he better than CP3? Absolutely. And I
well,
love
yeah, I'll say that,
gosh,
but I think that CP3 has better handles.
CP3
he's more crafty. I think CP3 is more crafty when it comes to his handles.
Jeremiah, do you recall Steph sitting CP3 down? Like
now, that's the thing. I like that play. I like that play when it comes to everything else.
He put him down more than once.
Look, I like that.
I don't know, man. CP3, he has some questions. I'm questioning him a little bit too, so I can't really.
No, but I'm not saying he's better than Steph Curry. No way.
I just I'm not giving any disrespect to CP. CP's point guard. All right, like he's legit.
The point guard, but
Steph got handles. He'll put a brother down. Okay, and
he will.
He put CP down more than once.
He would.
Okay, viewers, what I want to ask the viewers: list you got your top 10 all time. Who do you have in your top 10? Shoot them off, but like literally. When I look at Curry, and like I said, the man is a phenomenal, and I'm not saying he isn't or he can't be capable of getting in the top 10. He is fully capable of getting in the top 10. But when we're talking about those guys that I just named, overall, I'm talking about an overall player on both sides of the ball. I am skeptical of Curry is a liability. When we say he's a liability on the defensive side of the ball, that's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
He's not a liability anymore. He was back in the day. He was back in the day, but not anymore. Did y'all see this year's finals? Like
yes.
I mean, he was playing defense. He was playing defense, and he was scoring.
I mean, they did bully him in that first game, though. That first game, they was on him.
Take Wilt Chamberlain off? No way. I'm so sorry. Who is this? Classic. I'm sorry. I can't.
That's one of my buddies. That's one of my buddies.
No, I can't agree. Steph over Wilt Chamberlain? No way.
Look,
no way.
Wilt was dominant.
Listen, I understand it. I understand it. Like Wilt, 100 points. Like nobody's come close to that.
I don't think we'll ever see that though, man. I don't know. Okay, so what? Doc, LeBron, Bill Russell. Okay, Bird, Kareem. That's my top 5.
Dr. J, LeBron.
Dr. J. Okay.
Bill
but
Russell,
then again,
Bird. I mean, but would you put Bill Russell on there knowing that
you have to put Bill? You have to put Bill Russell up there based off of
the fact he won. He just
11 rings.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's like you can't.
Nobody is touching that. I feel like nobody's.
Wait, did he have Michael Jordan in that top 10 or top 5?
Mm-hmm.
Did he?
That's the problem.
No, he didn't.
Voss's thing is terminated. All right.
You don't even have
next top 5. All right.
So
like I'm not that
Larry
crazy.
Bird. Now, for that top 5, Larry Bird has to get off, and you put Michael Jordan in that top 5. You have to. I mean, it's just Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. That man.
Jordan should always be in somebody's top 3. I don't care where it is, but
I don't
he
care.
needs to be
I
in
don't
there.
care. He
Top
has
3.
to be some top 3. Oh, Frank. He said, I don't know top 3.
Mike? We're talking about Mike.
He needs to be on. He needs to be on everybody's top 3. I feel like.
Okay. I'm just curious now, Jeremiah, because you've been way out in left field today. So
I'll
who
say
the
this.
2 you gonna battle with?
I'll say this. For me, when it comes to ranking a top 10, top 15, or whatever player you guys want to, I can't put a player in a particular order because they bring different things to the game. Like, I hate to say, like, the GOAT talk and stuff like that. I hate to get into those because there's so many great players that have done so many great things. Like, of course, Bill Russell, like, if we're talking about winning, you could say Bill Russell's the GOAT. But then if we're talking about changing the game, like fashion and different things like that, you could say Jordan. You could say what he did. He's undefeated in the playoffs. I mean, in the finals. And you can't say that about a lot of these guys. Like, winning that 6 rings and not losing. I mean, man, people were scared of Jordan. I mean, this man created issues just to score 50 on people's heads. It's crazy.
Because, I mean, he took a break off because he got so bored of winning. It was.
And then you come back. Then you come back.
Jordan's a bad dude.
It's hard, man. Jordan
was that dude.
Everyone's wearing your brand. Like, everyone in pro sports wears your brand. That's how you know that he's just.
And he has
everything.
some records that players can't even break today. I mean, he's incredible. Everything that he paid for this NBA today.
Yeah, but that wraps up the show, guys. Oh my gosh, that was phenomenal. Frank, Jeremiah, you guys were awesome. There's more takes coming. I'm going to create more, and we're going to keep talking about all these great things. Thank you, audience, for your comments and your support. I am so thankful for all of you. Michael, thank you for allowing me to be a host of your phenomenal show. This was great. This was one for the books. Thank you, production team, for keeping everything together, keeping us on a schedule. Thank you, everyone, just for being a part of this and just doing a good job. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Frank. You guys did phenomenal. And if you guys want to check me out and see me talk more sports, you can catch me every Monday, Jazz's First Impression Sports Talk, talking about all things sports, 9 p.m. Eastern. And there you on the screen, you can see my website if you want to keep up with my latest shows, my past shows. And if you want to be a guest on my show, just to talk sports and just have these battles, because I just added this segment last week, Free for All, and I'm going to keep creating more. This wraps up 60 Minutes. Thank you, everyone. And you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys next week.